Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Bill Littauer. Our top stories this week. The town of Mamaroneck considers a 6.8% tax increase, but no new services.
The PBA says its members were shortchanged by the village of Mamaroneck.
The SATs are changing. We'll tell you how they add up in Mamaroneck.
If you have a boat in Mamaroneck Harbor, you may be in trouble.
Those stories and more coming up. First, our top story, the town of Mamaroneck faces a 6.8% tax increase next year. Town officials have been presented a $13,700,000 spending plan for 1991. Even though it's $700,000 more than spending for this year, there would be no new programs. The aim would be to preserve existing services. We discussed the proposed budget and taxes with Town Supervisor Caroline Silverstone. Caroline, why another big increase?
It's not a big increase, actually. It was a 5% increase or thereabouts last year, and it's just slightly more this year. Part of it is the fact that we have rebuilt the ice rink. We bought a motel, and now we have to start paying for both of those things. And of course, we're giving policemen and firemen small salary increases as well.
Now, is the town gaining in its ability to tax?
No, we're losing, actually. There's been a loss in assessments because Con Ed, for one, came in and got relief from taxes. Some other big commercial properties also have had lowered assessments, which means that we who live in houses have to pay more to make up the difference.
Is there any chance that we who live in houses can get our taxes reduced or our assessments reduced?
Actually, there were people who came in and got their taxes reduced this year. And one day, you know, we will have to probably, as we did in '68, redo the whole thing. I don't know when that'll be, somewhere down the road.
Now, I've heard you mention that some people aren't paying taxes. Is this a problem?
It's a terrible problem when people don't pay taxes because the town must buy the tax liens. That's the term we use for saying that we guarantee the school their taxes. If you don't pay your taxes, the town still has to pay them to the school, as well as to Westchester County. So we have to buy those liens and make the county whole and the school district whole.
Well, how much is it that people aren't paying their taxes?
This year we had to buy $500,000 worth of tax liens.
What happens when people don't pay their taxes? That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and it means that we don't have that money in the bank earning money, which would then help us to lower the taxes for the year. And it means that, of course, the person has to pay a little penalty each month, but sometimes they think the penalty is easier than coming up with the money for the taxes.
Is the town foreclosing on anyone, taking over homes because of unpaid taxes?
No, there haven't been any foreclosures, but we have started some court proceedings on people who are as much as 2 years in arrears.
Some changes are coming in the SATs. That and other school news now from our school news reporter, Monique Citron.
College-bound students finally got the news last week about the proposed changes to the College Boards, or SATs as they are known. There will be more emphasis on reading and writing skills, and for the first time, calculators may be used. Although the changes, which will go into effect in 1994, are more modest than had been rumored, designers of the test say they will help raise standards in high schools across the country. A proposed mandatory essay section has been dropped because it would have been too expensive to grade and might have discriminated against children whose native language is not English. Parents of students who have children heading for college should plan to attend an informative workshop on financial aid on Thursday, November the 15th in the high school library. 29 students from Mamaroneck's high school sister school, the Notre Dame de Paris in France, recently visited here for 2 weeks. Participants visited classrooms, New York City, and Washington, D.C. Next year, this school reporter hopes to go along when Mamaroneck visits France. Last Thursday was quite an educational event for our local realtors, not to mention fattening. From 9 to 10:30, Rhinebeck High hosted a breakfast to introduce 2 new principals. They described their curriculums and their programs, and a marvelous performance was given by a few of the students. At 1 o'clock, it was Mamaroneck High School's turn, a working lunch with Superintendent Kolb. Topics such as taxes, building improvements, cooperation on the part of the school with prospective home buyers, all were discussed. Lunch was delicious, as was breakfast. The only problem was, who's going to cook me dinner?
The Mamaroneck Police Union says its members were shortchanged a total of $40,000 last year. The Police Benevolent Association says the village changed its accounting procedures and failed to pay its police officers during a 9-day period. Village treasurer agrees some police officers are owed some money because of promotions, but he thinks the PBA claim is overstated. The two sides have been meeting to try to resolve the issue outside of court.
If you have a boat in Mamaroneck Harbor now, you may be in trouble. Your boat should not be in the water now. LMC News talked with Mamaroneck Harbor Master Jim Mancusi. Jim, how come all these boats are still on the water and here we are past the deadline?
Kind of hard to throw people out when the fishing's good, the weather's good, it's going to be warmer. There's a few. You see one over there is a little low in the water. We know he's not paying attention to his boat. He hasn't been down. But majority of these people do come down. They'll be down this weekend. I'll keep an eye on them.
So what's the absolute final deadline for getting our boats out of the water?
I always had Thanksgiving, because after that the weather really changes so rapidly. We've had people couldn't get their boats through the ice to get them out. So there is a point when we know Mother Nature's going to take over and take charge.
Can they residents call you at your office to double check the high tide, the best time to bring the boat out?
Not only that, I appreciate they call, let me know they're going to stay in, and we know they are here. Didn't go to Florida and forget about their boats. It's happened. I'd like to know these people are here.
What happens to boats that are left in the water, say, after Thanksgiving?
Then I got to cut them loose. I got to put them somewhere, and usually the weather takes over, and I don't want them to sink. It's an investment. It's a luxury item, but it is an investment. These people really don't know about their boats. Most of them do.
Cut them loose and they'll just wander out in the sound?
No, I move them, but I have to move these docks out of the way, so I got to cut them loose, cut their chains, stack them up, and then try to get a hold of these people, which is not easy, because they're at work, they're somewhere else, and they can't get the person to pull the boat out, and the tide's wrong, everything's wrong.
What's the past track record, previous seasons? How many people forget their boats?
There's always a dozen. It's amazing. Dinghies particularly. There's somebody hauled their bigger boat and they forgot about their dinghy. So we got to find them for them.
Okay, so the word is out. At the very latest, by Thanksgiving, if you still have your boat in the water here at Harbor Island, you better get it out.
The father of 5 children who attend the St. John and Paul School in Mamaroneck wants a traffic light on Weaver Street in front of the school. William Byrne says he's been working on the project for 14 months, so far without success. Town Supervisor Caroline Silverstone says it could take a lot longer, that Weaver Street is a state road and changes come very slowly. She says it took a decade to get the new traffic light at Weaver Street and Forest Avenue. At least something may happen soon, though. The area should be designated a school zone with lower speed limits.
These items around our area, art by the Mamaroneck School District staff is on display in the high school's Palmer Gallery. The display of paintings, prints, jewelry, photography, and sculpture will be open during school hours until Wednesday, November 7th. Bill?
Mamaroneck High School is one of 3 winners in the eastern region of Bravo Cable Television Network's high school theater competition. A play submitted by Mark Rosenthal called The 640 was chosen as runner-up out of plays submitted by 150 high schools.
The Larchmont Classic Film Club is offering a special $33 subscription fee. It has film showings at 10 a.m. at the Larchmont Theater on Saturday, November 17th, December 1st, and the 15th of December. Bill?
There are some new developments over the dredging of the Premium River Marsh. We have a report on that now from environmental reporter Greg Federbush.
The Premium River Marsh in Larchmont is planned to be dredged in early December. Officials from the village of Larchmont and the town of Mamaroneck have scheduled an informational meeting on Tuesday, November 13th. To update residents on the proposed dredging, which is being funded by a $619,000 grant from the State Department of Environmental Conservation. The Premium River Marsh is a fish and wildlife habitat serving as a feeding area for over 150 species of fish. Because of development downstream, the marsh has been filling up with silt. The dredging, therefore, will restore tides to the marsh. The process should take 1 to 2 months to complete. The largest fast food company, McDonald's, announced last week that it would phase out its use of foam packaging within 60 days. Hopefully, we can say goodbye to these polystyrene packages whose manufacture add to ozone depletion and air pollution and don't degrade well when discarded. Thanks to people like you, big companies will have to change the way they do business. Congratulations.
The village of Mamaroneck is going to cut back on curbside newspaper pickups this fall. Because of the manpower required for picking up leaves, there will be no newspaper pickup on 4 days, November 7th, November 21st, December 26th, and January 2nd.
The Junior League celebrates its 40th anniversary this month. LMC reporter Mary Ann Sullivan talked with Junior League President Bonnie Gagliardi.
The Junior League of Worcester on the Sound is celebrating its 40th anniversary this year, and it's served the community for 40 years. Bonnie, please tell us about it.
Well, the Junior League of Westchester on the Sound, Mary Ann, is an organization of women who are committed to improving the Sound Shore area through effective action and leadership of trained volunteers.
Bonnie, over the 40 years, what are some of the highlights of what the League has done in the community?
Well, our thrift shop, the Golden Shoestring in Larchmont, as well as Soundettes, which is our musical therapy program, have been part of the League's history for 40 years, and we are very proud of that. In addition, the Junior League has been instrumental in establishing the Youth Employment Service here at Mamaroneck High School, as well as the Carver Center in Portchester, the Life Center in Larchmont, and we've screened many of the pre-K children for many years for hearing disabilities, and that was called our Listen Here project. We also have been very involved with LMC-TV about 10 years ago. Some of our recent projects include a food drive called Spring Harvest. We are involved also in many projects that deal with children and family. That's very dear to our hearts.
Well, Bonnie, tell me what you're going to do to celebrate your 40th anniversary.
Well, we're very excited about that. On November 17th at Manhattanville College, we will all be gathered together to honor 3 very special women in our community, and they are Bernadette Kingham, who is the Executive Director of the Juvenile Education Law Project. She started as a volunteer and developed this project herself. Also, we will be honoring Mary McDonald of Larchmont, who, among her many other talents, has been very much involved with the children at the Larchmont Motel and was very helpful to us when we started our program Friday Friends there. Finally, we will be honoring Ann Spaeth from Rye, who is the Executive Director of FIRST, which is Family Information Referral Service Teams, and she has just expanded that program tremendously. So we are delighted to honor them and to recognize the impact that they have made in our community.
And that's it for another week of Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. If you'd like to join us in producing this newscast each week, join us any Thursday evening. We meet about 7:30 in the Palmer Avenue building of the high school. Thanks for watching Larchmont Mamaroneck Community News. I'm Roger Norum.
And I'm Bill Littauer. We'll see you again next week at the same time.
Last Wednesday was a great day for little Woody Allens and goblins and Ninja Turtles. We have some fabulous Halloween footage for you.